Okay guys, so for today I'm going to do a reading for the new moon, which just passed, into Sagittarius. And so with Sagittarius comes really cool new beginnings and adventure. And yeah, so I thought I would do a reading based on that. Here are the crystals you can choose from. We have blue kyanite, clear quartz, amethyst, and serpentine. So there'll be pile number 1 for blue kyanite, 2 for clear quartz, 3 for amethyst, and 4 for the serpentine. Or serpentine, whatever. Okay, and so I'm going to move these out of the way because I don't have a ton of space. And we'll begin with the blue kyanite. Okay, so our first card here is talking about parts of your life that could use expansion or growth. So this card is telling us maybe to focus on relationships, romance, love, perhaps opening yourself up to being more available, being more open and being more vulnerable. And that can lead to a sense of personal growth in your romantic relationships or even just other types of intimate relationships. So these can be close personal friendships or even family relationships where intimacy is a major component, so emotional closeness. So card number 2 is the Ace of Pentacles, and this card is indicating something you need to perhaps listen more closely about. So whether that's listening to your own intuition or whether other people are bringing advice into your life, this card is focusing on financial or career opportunities or even manifestation. And with the new moon in Sagittarius, that's a huge opportunity and time for manifesting really powerful, adventurous dreams. So perhaps this card is telling you to really tune in and listen to your intuition, listen to your inner voice, and focus on what it is you are manifesting. Sometimes we have subconscious voices and desires, and we might be talking to ourselves negatively or continuously saying things like, I hate my job, or something like that. So if that resonates with you, maybe try to focus on positive words and try to manifest really either a situation in your current job that you're happy with, or manifest perhaps a career change, or try to bring in that joy for the work that you do into your life. Just try to listen to your inner voice and focus on that manifestation that you're either doing or that maybe you need to do. For others, maybe you are dealing directly with finances, maybe a new home, big purchases, things like that, and maybe this is a time for you to really listen to advice and stop doing the talking in this realm particularly, but listen to any kind of wisdom or advice you're getting in this area. So card number 3 is something you need to focus on talking more about or speaking more about. This really makes sense. This is kind of a card of leadership and taking action, being held into a position of honor or a position of leadership, natural born leader type qualities. So maybe you are in a situation where you need to speak up. Maybe you need to, even at work, this can, go hand in hand with that for some people, that maybe you feel like you don't have a voice in your job and you just need to kind of step up and show them the leader that you are, step into a leadership role, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Or just make sure in any upcoming life decisions that you are not letting other people's opinions sway you. Really take the lead in these decisions. Take control of manifesting your own destiny and your own life, and step into that leadership role. Speak up a little more about this. Lean in. The next card is the King of Cups, and this position, this fourth position, is really speaking to how you can bring more fun into your life. So I would say for the King of Cups, he's sitting on kind of a turbulent sea, but he's high up above it. He's not being bothered by it. So I think for whatever kind of chaos or tumultuous times or discomfort and distress that you feel in your life, try to really take time to just rise above it, separate yourself from the situation, and do something that you really enjoy. This is kind of your permission if you've been holding off, take some time out for yourself. If you have kids, maybe, try to get a sitter, go on a date night, do something like that, or just, ask your partner or ask a sitter or family member to watch the kids for, an hour and do a very indulgent bath or something like that. But really, don't let yourself get so bogged down with kind of all of the chaos and busyness around you to the point where you're not having any fun. Right now is a time where you should go out there and try to cultivate a fun time, a celebratory time for yourself. Take some me time, do something that you really, really enjoy, and don't feel guilty about it, and don't feel discomfort in asking people to help you. Act like a king, act like you work hard and you deserve a little bit of time to have fun, and don't think twice about it. And this fifth card, finally, is a lesson that the universe hopes you'll have learned, or hopes you'll be learning at the close of this last cycle, which is really focused on love and having abundance. So the universe is hoping that you're starting to understand, or that you're committing yourself to the idea of infinite abundance in the universe, and that you have infinite amount of love to give to others. So perhaps there's a lesson in your recent past where maybe your compassion was tested and you need to focus more on being a little more compassionate, even if it seems like the other person or people are just way out of line. Focus on honing that compassion, because compassion for others is really a gift to yourself in cultivating and sending out that positive energy that's going to ultimately come back to you. And just giving freely of your love, which I think is good to, take these two cards into consideration. Give freely of your love, and then take time for yourself, and kind of, vacillate back and forth. Take care of yourself, give freely of love. And in the long run, those are all going to feed into each other and create just kind of a beautiful, harmonious situation for you. So overall, your reading, pile one, is definitely focused on love, opening yourself up or remaining open and vulnerable with people who are intimate in your life with you. Listening to advice when it comes to financial issues, or listening to your intuition when it comes to financial issues or career moves. Taking a leadership role, taking control of those career moves or financial moves. Taking time for yourself, carving out time without guilt to have fun for yourself, and give freely to others. Give your love freely to others in this time. Okay, thank you so much, deck one. If you're going to click off the video, I appreciate you so much. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope you visit again soon. I'll be posting soon again as well. Okay, hello, deck two. With the clear quartz, let's get you your new moon in Sagittarius reading. Might kind of look funky because I don't have a ton of space the way my camera is set up. Okay, deck 2, or pile 2. The first card in this position is going to be something or part of your life that could use expansion or growth. And this High Priestess card is in your first position, which is really focused on the divine feminine, or even the subconscious mind. So I think what Spirit is telling us here is that it would really be beneficial to you to kind of focus on honoring the divine feminine or any feminine energies, whether they're within you or around you. So maybe recognizing helpful female figures in your life or the feminine energy within. So really nurture that feminine energy and allow it to flourish and thrive in this season. Our second card is something that we need to focus on listening more about. And this is also a very feminine, sorry, the rain has started. I don't know if you can hear it. This is also focused on something very feminine. Kind of we have this fertile, inner feminine, female goddess, abundance type of figure. So with this in the listen more position, I would say this does mean more looking inward and listening to your inner feminine energies and honoring that divine feminine energy inside you, whether you're masculine or feminine leaning or non-binary. I think it's still important to honor that divine feminine energy. Your third card here is something to speak up more about. And here we have the Ace of Swords, which is really speaking of being victorious and your personal accomplishments, having raw power even. And so for this, I would say Spirit is trying to let you know that it's okay to toot your own horn a little bit. It's okay to not brag, but celebrate vocally your accomplishments or even the insights you have. Maybe you're struggling to let people know about certain ideas you have. Maybe you have ideas to build, an empire. You have ideas to improve a company. You have ideas for an invention or something like this. So please speak up about those and please speak up about your accomplishments and feel good about them. Don't feel awkward about talking about them or bragging about yourself. If you have a job interview or something coming up, really go in there unabashedly and go in there really selling yourself high, because you have accomplished amazing things. You are brilliant. You are exciting and bright, and you deserve credit for that. And you deserve to honor it yourself with your words so that others can see and others can also feel comfortable honoring you for those accomplishments. This fourth card is in a position speaking to how to bring more fun in your life. And from looking at this card, it might look a little iffy, but I believe this card is telling you to have fun, do the things you love and enjoy, and stop torturing yourself over it. Don't feel like you're betraying others because you want to do things that are fun to you. Preserve your own energy and don't let people drag you, across town doing things you don't want to do. Focus on your passions and your desires and things that bring joy into your life. And don't emotionally torture yourself over whether or not you deserve it, what other people deserve, that you have to be there for other people. You are there for other people. And right now, with the moon in Sagittarius, it's time to focus on a little bit of fun for yourself and preserving your energy, preserving your positive vibes, and not letting other people hinder that by making you feel guilty or by making yourself feel guilty for having fun. This final card is about things you've been learning. And so the cards are letting me know that perhaps this has been a time of introspection for you, or interpersonal growth. It could have been a time of soul searching or finding your path. And the cards are telling me you've made good progress on this. This is a lesson you've been working on. And now as we enter Sagittarius, you can take those lessons, you can take the insights that you've gained from this soul searching that you've done, and go forth and continue to build your life in a positive way, continue to grow and change from any of the lessons you've learned in this past season. So overall, your reading, pile 2, is letting me know that you need to really seek within the divine feminine now and focus on listening to your intuition, your feminine intuition, whether you are feminine or whether you're more masculine. Hone in on that feminine energy, that feminine intuition. Don't let yourself feel guilty. Don't let yourself be guilted about following your intuitive drives, because you've been learning from this hermit state, you've been introspective, you've been soul searching, and now you have the tools to really listen to your intuition and really let these inner thoughts and inner voices guide you in this next season. So you should have fun, you should be flirty, you should, go out there with this Sagittarius moon and live your best life. Do you, live it up, and don't feel guilty about it. Alright, thanks pile 2. If you enjoyed that or not, thumbs up, thumbs down. Like and subscribe if you feel so moved, and I hope to see you around again soon. Alright, pile 3, welcome. Our amethyst deck here. Okay, so our first card here is talking about an area of your life that you could grow in. And so this card is really speaking about conflict. So I think there is some growth you can do this season in dealing with conflict. So I think perhaps maybe you can open your eyes and start to understand where there are some conflicts in your life, whether they're internal conflicts or whether they're conflicts with others. But really focus on these conflicts. Don't ignore them. Don't let them go unchecked any longer. And really devise a strategy to deal with them. Face it head on. Don't face it in any kind of passive-aggressive way or a way that evokes denial. Really try to deal with these conflicts in a pragmatic, head-on way. And that's how you can achieve growth. Really focus on what you want out of the situation and practically and pragmatically find those steps to get there. That's what you can really focus on in this season for growth. The next card is focusing on where we need to listen more in this season. And so with the Chariot, we really have kind of maybe a more controlling voice, maybe a more forceful and powerful voice. So maybe this is something you might struggle with listening to. Maybe it's a more harsh and forceful authority person. Maybe it's even yourself. and maybe you just need to listen and understand what this figure is saying. Maybe there is a figure, or there's going to be a figure who kind of maybe figuratively or physically stands up and challenges a little bit. It's not going to be like a malicious attack, but maybe kind of a more powerful, maybe a more successful person will have some kind of powerful words to say, some insightful words to say, and this can be very beneficial for you in your immediate future, in the success you experience in the immediate future if you really listen to these words that are presented to you. So this is going to be some sort of strong voice, someone who's maybe a little more successful in your field or in spirituality or in love, something that you're trying to get to. Someone has some wisdom for you, and it's going to come in a kind of powerful way. So make sure you listen a little more to this message that is coming through. So this third card is focused on something that you need to speak more about or talk more about. And so this card is really depicting achievement of success, which is kind of in tune with this Chariot card with wisdom about success. But achieving success can come at the cost of isolating you from those around you. So you need to talk more about this. Maybe you need to, while you're achieving success or while you're implementing this advice for success, while you're working towards success, don't forget those who are important to you. Call your mother. Not for everyone, but that was a message for 12% of you. Call your mother, or just, lean on your friends, lean on your partner more in a more communicative way. Don't isolate people. Don't fall into a trap that it'll be worth it when you're done working XYZ hours, or when you get to such and such a goal. Take time, step back. Your dreams and work will be there tomorrow, and spend an hour talking with, someone close to you. This could be for your benefit, but it might also be for their benefit. So, check in with people you haven't talked to for a while, someone who maybe has been on your mind. Don't let them fade away. And bringing that with this Five of Wands card, these could go together for someone too. Maybe you were in a fight with someone. Maybe it was over work. Maybe it's not over work. And if you feel safe and comfortable, I would say reach out to them. Maybe offer the olive branch first, even if you weren't in the wrong or you don't feel like you were in the wrong. Maybe just reach out to them if that feels like that resonates with you. Alright, and so this fourth card is speaking about how to bring more fun into your life, and we have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is really about spiritual, sometimes religious wisdom, maybe kind of the established traditions and beliefs. So that might mean just letting yourself indulge in the festivities during this season of Sagittarius, the end of the year, no matter what kind of faith you follow or path you follow. There's great parties, there's great food, there's great, dances. Maybe you were into Yule or Christmas, or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, or you just really enjoy this kind of end of the year, turning of the seasons, new year festivities. Really let yourself kind of indulge in these festivals that we have as a society and that we still get to carry on. Have fun this holiday season. Maybe get a secret Santa group together or something like that. But find find fun and enjoyment in your spiritual life. Maybe it's just getting new crystals, or learning tarot, or just having fun with meditation and stuff like that. But the deck is saying to bring spirituality into your life in a way that's really fun and lighthearted. So maybe for some of you, you take the holidays kind of seriously, or they haven't always been a great time for you, and maybe this card is saying to you, try to view it with a little more lightheartedness this year. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't have too high of expectations for the holidays. Just go with the flow, be lighthearted, and let it be fun, and enjoy the fun parts and ignore the rest. Don't let it drag you down. And finally, we have the Four of Pentacles. This last card is really speaking to a lesson you've been learning. So whether you've been learning that you need to save more money, or you've been learning to save more money, kind of achieving more security, maybe you have been working more, and that's a lesson you've been learning is, how to put in those hard hours, or you've just been relearning it, or you've been learning it for 20 years. But this is kind of saying you have these tools now, or you at least have the insight that this is an important process. So this is kind of marking perhaps a close of this lesson. It's not saying go out and blow all your money in this last season, but this is a lesson you've been learning. Maybe it's come harder for some of you. Maybe it's just been focusing on work and career for others. But kind of this whole deck might be saying, don't take everything so seriously. You have some conflicts. Maybe don't take these conflicts so seriously. Don't let it push you away from the people who are important to you. Listen to others in this conflict, and you don't need to really focus heavily on this lesson right now in this season. You're learning it, you've learned it, you have tools from this now. And this doesn't mean you're necessarily in an argument, but maybe you have an inner conflict. And, you have part of you who really wants to focus in this one area because it's the right path, it's practical, and you have part of you that wants to focus in a more fun area. This is saying this is the season to explore that more fun area, and don't feel so conflicted about it. Give yourself permission to drop the conflict and just focus on the good and the happy, and really meditate and try to cultivate this lightheartedness in this season, and you're really going to have a much happier time with this Sagittarius moon if you're able to do that. Okay, thanks, deck 3. Thumbs up, thumbs down, let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you feel so moved, and I hope to see you around again soon. Thank you. Hello, deck number 4, Serpentine. Let's get you your reading for this Sagittarius moon. Okay, guys, so this first card is focused on something you can grow in this season. And this card is really talking about maybe being too bogged down in the contemplation of a decision, weighing the pros and cons too heavily. So this would be a season for you to kind of open your eyes, take inventory, recognize what you do have and what is manifesting or what has already manifested. Don't be so bogged down and worry that you're missing the opportunities that are being presented to you. Cultivate maybe a meditation of gratefulness, which you may already do, but continue to do that if you do. And, really kind of open your eyes and be open to something that is being presented to you, or something that's coming up during this season that will be presented to you. Don't be so bogged down in anxiety and worry about your opportunities or lack of opportunities that you miss the really great opportunity that's here for you, or that's on its way. Card number 2 is focused on something you need to listen more about or to. And here we have kind of a card of charity, the 6 of Pentacles. And so I would say someone has been, or someone is going to offer you help. And you might feel resistant to this help a little bit. Or maybe it didn't register as advice or help at the time. But it's really valuable advice. It's really good advice. Or it's really valuable or necessary help. And don't feel afraid to ask for help or receive help. So this is kind of something you can be a little more open to in this season, is getting a little bit of help, maybe from, your partner. Maybe you need to ask help from your partner for something, maybe emotional things, maybe with the kids, or maybe you need to ask for guidance or clarification of something at work. Don't be afraid to get this help. Don't be afraid to listen to help that's offered to you, even if it's unsolicited, even if it kind of ruffles your feathers at first. That's fine, but kind of go home maybe and take some time to think about what was said, and how you can best implement that particular form of advice or help. Alright, so your third card, where do you need to speak more? This is the 2 of Wands, and it's really about future planning, making decisions and discovery. So if you've discovered something, or if you are planning something, maybe now's a good time to start talking to people about it, start getting opinions about it. Maybe that's where this advice is coming from. Maybe they can't give this advice for you to listen to if you're not speaking about things that you need help from. So I really see these cards kind of going hand in hand. Or if you've made a discovery about yourself or about someone else that you're kind of holding on to, it might be a good time to talk about that with someone. Or, maybe you're even in denial about something. You know it's true, but you're trying to block it a little bit. Allowing yourself to talk about it, quote unquote, with yourself, or allowing yourself to acknowledge that this thing has happened, is really going to help you heal and move on from that experience. And so I really see kind of all of these cards going really well together so far. You're a little bogged down. You're not really open to kind of opportunities that might come your way. And maybe it's because you're kind of in this contemplation phase. You're planning something. You're not really talking to people about it, and you need to talk to people about it. You need to let them offer their help or advice or wisdom or experience in some way. And that might help you have your eyes open to this upcoming opportunity that you don't want to miss out on. So card number 4 is how you can focus on bringing more happiness into your life. And so with this one, maybe you need to speak about these plans more, because if you do, you'll be celebrated for them. Maybe these are good plans, or maybe you've made a good discovery, and maybe you've made a bad discovery, and talking about it helps someone else move on. So this is kind of a public celebration, self-confidence, So really start opening up to people in areas that you feel like you might be hesitating by, struggling, holding on to yourself. And I think you'll really be rewarded. You'll really experience this kind of public celebration for that activity or for that action. And that's going to allow you to start having fun again or continue to have fun. Whereas kind of holding on to these things is really hindering kind of your joyful, fun spirit. But if you can kind of incorporate these, you're going to have a party, you're going to have fun, maybe celebrating with family for the holidays. But yeah, just you have support, you have people around you, and they love you, they celebrate you. So hang on to that idea as you maybe struggle or as you maybe contemplate and hesitate in other areas. Know that people are celebrating you, people do love you, and you do have support. And finally, a lesson you've been learning has to do with authority, kind of the established structure of society. So maybe you've been learning how to navigate that. Maybe it's been a difficult lesson, and that's where you need to seek advice, to speak about the places you're struggling and get advice for that. Or maybe you've learned this lesson. Maybe you've learned how to navigate a certain structure, maybe a corporate structure, maybe a legal structure, or even just the structures in society, how to navigate people and how we operate at a societal level. And maybe you have wisdom now that you need to speak about and share. Maybe that's the discovery. You discovered how people work in a certain way, or how a corporation or establishment is working, and it's time to share your knowledge about that. So overall, your reading is mainly about kind of an exchange of information, and it's centered around understanding that any kind of boredom or being bogged down in work-related things that's happening, if you just kind of open up and talk to people about it, it's going to really kind of not necessarily resolve itself, but help you get this resolved in a pretty quick way, I feel like. And you're going to have room then to be celebratory and be social and be, kind of publicly acknowledged and celebrated for just who you are, just your personality. You have this knowledge now, you have this understanding of the situation that you've been in, and you have this understanding of how to go forth and how to navigate something. And so whatever kind of conflicts or struggles that you might have been going through recently in the last lunar phase, this is how you can kind of tie those up, move on, and enjoy this last part of the year. All right, thanks. Group 4, let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down, if you enjoyed this reading at all. And subscribe if you feel so moved, and I hope to see you around again soon. Thanks.